Yeah, and I think we might just be staying on that theme with Flo. She's looking at the French newspapers, but of course the French newspapers, they're not really talking about France today, are they? They're talking about the US election as people go to cast their ballots.
That's right. Now, as much as France loves to badmouth the United States, they're fascinated with what happens just over the Atlantic. Let's take a look at the front page of 20 Minutes today, which is actually quoting or twisting a famous Sergio Leone film, Once Upon a Time in America. But you can see their take on it. Once again, it's America, with all these little "I voted" signs and pins, etc. there. Now, it must be said, though, as much as France is fascinated with the U.S., the image of the United States has taken quite a beating in this lead-up during the campaign, I guess you could say. This is the front page of Aujourd'hui En France, which I find quite interesting because it reflects a lot of what many French papers are saying. Is this still the American dream? And you can see these quite scary dolls or puppets.
Very.
I'm not sure what they are, representing, of course, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. It seems like the American dream, because French people still believe in the American dream. They wonder if it's still going to exist after this violent campaign.
Yeah, not an ideal image for American dreams. Several papers are actually playing the betting game, aren't they, Flo? Just really guessing who's going to win this very tight vote.
That's right, and explaining how the vote works, because, of course, every 4 years, French papers have to explain to French people how Americans vote for their president with the Electoral College system. Libération has some great graphics today with the latest voting predictions, state by state. They're actually using Nate Silver's 538 analysis here. You can see, according to their predictions, Clinton has a 68.5% chance of becoming the 45th president. Of course, everything depends on swing states. L'Opinion, the pro-business paper, pro-European paper, they're also putting their money on Hillary Clinton. But you can see they're saying de justesse. It's likely that she's going to win, but just by a hair.
Several papers here in France are seeing this very, very tight race, aren't they, Flo, as more than just a presidential election.
That's right. Le Figaro on its front page talks about the clash of two Americas that we're seeing in this election. Today's election result can result in fundamentally different directions for the United States, but also for the world, because Clinton and Trump disagree about everything. And if you need a crash course, do check out Le Figaro. They conveniently list things that they disagree on, and it's quite broad. Foreign policy, immigration, business, family and health, education, guns, everything.
Everything. You could just put the word everything between them.
Exactly, everything. But it explains exactly what they disagree on, how they disagree on, the details of their projects and why they're so different. It's a choice between two very different visions of the United States. And Les Echos, the business paper, agrees with this analysis. If we take a look at their front page today, Les Echos is talking about how America is actually doing the splits between these two programs. It seems like it's quite a painful moment for the United States.
And some of the papers as well saying that such division between the two candidates really reflects the whole of America.
That's right. L'Humanité, the communist paper, says that, if you can look beyond all the mudslinging that's going on between Trump and Clinton, this duel, well, you'll see some pretty incredible fault lines in American society. If you can look beyond the circus of the election, you'll see a very, very heavy malaise. There's not much social cohesion, and that is why there are these big divisions between the two candidates. And what's interesting is, so this is the communist paper. The Catholic paper, La Croix, agrees with this analysis today. If we take a look at their front page, you can see they're talking about une fracture américaine. It's an American fracture, a gap, but fracture also is what you talk about when you have a fracture, a broken bone, essentially. So it seems like it's quite a painful situation for the US.
And whoever wins this election, of course, is going to have to deal with a severely divided country here, Flo. And some papers are clearly choosing their candidate. They're really divided as to who they're picking.
That's right. Libération, the left-wing paper, is going with Hillary Clinton today, or at least they don't want Trump to win. Let's take a look at their front page. You can see it's quite an interesting front page with this ominous profile here of Donald Trump.
It's like a Halloween image, doesn't it?
I know, it looks like a moon.
Wow.
He looks like a wolf or something. Now, what's interesting is Yes, flip is actually a slang word that means to be really scared about something, flipped out, I guess you could say it. So when they talk about le grand flip, it means the great anguish, the great horror, but it's not just for America, it's for the planet as well, according to Libération, because, whether you like it or not, the U.S. is a beacon for the rest of the world, and sometimes a bellwether for what happens elsewhere as well. And so Libération wonders, with what happens in the States, this could have a ripple-down effect for the rest of the world either. So which way are we going to go? Are we going to go down the path of populism and racism, or the path of openness and tolerance? Now, Les Echos, the business paper, also is hoping that Clinton will win. She's the candidate of reason. And they say what's interesting, though, is whether or not he loses, Trump will have dominated this election.
Now, I have to say that as a journalist, I don't know how you feel at home, but I'm getting a bit fed up with this election. I'm going to be quite glad this
can't
time
wait
tomorrow.
for Wednesday.
And quite a few papers are just really happy that this is drawing to a close now.
That's right. Le Monde has a great article today summing up just how fed up people are with this, talking about how this has been a punishing, weird, ugly, and discouraging election. But the best description goes to the Miami Herald. If it were a commercial flight, we'd all have our barf bags on our lap. But don't expect smooth air just yet. The general consensus is that it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Oh, well, thanks very much, Flo. 24 hours to go,
Uplifting
roughly. Something. Yeah, she's good at that. More election coming up in the next half hour, because as the US prepares to vote, we ask, where are voting patterns changing? We're reporting, in fact, from Colorado. It was a Republican bastion, but with an influx of Hispanics and younger people, the state has shifted in the last two elections.